Bill Henshaw here again today, Constitutional Coop Headquarters. I'm one of those rare avises out there that still believe that the Constitution is in full force and effect. We'll see if I'm proven right or wrong here, maybe before the end of the current term of the 9 parts, who just went back in session October the 4th, for those of you who don't know. And there's good reason to be optimistic about this, as I've discussed on other videos. That said, I want to revisit the issue with mortgage banksters, Inc., the ones that supposedly made you a loan, and now they want to try and come and collect. And this is just like any other issue, that deals with money in undefined dollars. And that includes fines in traffic courts, fine for BS criminal cases. I mean, you name it, filing fees, anything, undefined dollars, because those dollars circulate in federal military venues, and we can prove that to be so. And if that's the case, no state court would have any subject matter jurisdiction over it. And if they try to haul you into federal court, they don't want to even think about that with the multiple unopposed constitutional issues we have to present here. You can learn about that. Send me an email, youwinningcourt@gmail.com, for my modestly priced constitutional defense document packets. It's astounding. It really is. And yeah, I know almost you can't believe it, but then they didn't teach you anything when you were in high school either, just like I didn't learn 50 years ago. But if I had known a fraction of this at that time, I was right outside of Washington, D.C., what in the world do you think I could have done with that? There's no way they want me to know any of it. And yet all of it's true if the Constitution remains in full force and effect as the supreme law of the land. I'm already 15 years all in and about to go into my 39th year, believing this to be true. And you should too. I think, notwithstanding what you might hear for some other sources, especially about the Articles of Confederation and the earlier Constitution, and there's nothing wrong with those things, but we have been parenthetically misled to believe that the Constitution has been in full force and in effect for 230 years. And I think we should take the bastards at their word. It's just what we do differently is to ask questions they don't want to see coming, any one of which challenges the existence of the entire de facto national socialist government. And it's about damn time we started to do it. We've been around for arguably 160 years, and enough is enough. Are you listening, John Roberts, Amy Coney Barrett, the rest of you political hacks on the U.S. Supreme Court? Most of it's because of your failure to do your duty for 160 years to say what the law is, quote unquote. And you said that in Marbury versus Madison in 1803. So you start doing your job, we're all going to be better off, and it's long overdue for you to start doing it. You're going to be hearing from me and as many other cooks as I can get to put papers into that court, and or now the California District Court, not Federal District Court, California District Court, and in other jurisdictions, you will have the same court that has to be there in every county in your state if it is the state admitted into this union pursuant to Article 4, Section 3, and not a quote-unquote state, usually all in capital letters, admitted pursuant to the war powers of Congress, like every state has been since Nebraska in 1861, and most famously for me, West by gosh, Virginia in 1863, which, then head of the house, old Dad Stevens out of Pennsylvania, conceded on the record was admitted pursuant to the war powers of Congress. And all you have to do is look at the map and see exactly why that happened and remember the time frame in which it occurred, the war between the states. So that's the problem. And all of the states since then have been that way too. And they took care of the rest of us with the non-existent 14th War Amendment by creating a subordinate body politic that has apparently done away with us and our sovereign independent states. That's what needs to be challenged. You would think, in 150 odd years already, they would have had cases come up there doing this. I mean, I can't be the only one that's ever come across this in that time frame, especially in the 19th century, when a lot of this stuff was still commonly being taught, particularly in the South. Nowadays, the textbooks, even in the days that my dear beloved mom was in school in the 1930s, had very little, if any, to say about it. It was gone. I mean, people took over the printing and controlled the textbooks, and it's a lot easier now, by the way, since all they have to do is tell it, to the state educational department here in Sacramento, where I am, and it gets distributed to all the counties and all the schools at one shot. And they can just leave out whatever they want to leave out. You're never going to be any the wiser unless you take it upon yourself to do what I've done and study, and or get my modestly priced documents, and I will help you and instruct you in doing it. Send me information for that. youwinnincourt@gmail.com. And it won't take you 10,000 hours into as much the old stack of law books like it took me. And once you get that, you say, my God, when it first finally hit me, the magnitude of the events here, you just can't believe it at first, but all of it's true and can be proven to be so. Relevant, admissible, documentary evidence that we have a right to present to a common law jury that we are never going to see. That's how much power we have and how much power you have. And it's what we're supposed to have in the Republican form of government of defined and limited powers. Not to blankly believe in democracy that they're also raving about and in love with. And democracy, as my first law teacher said all those years ago, 3 bulls, 2 sheep voting on what's for dinner. That's all it really is. And that's why it doesn't work, particularly in my former hometown of Washington, D.C. We're far better off to have things done not only on the state level, but better yet, most of it done at the county level. Much less expensive, much more efficient, and easier to change. How hard are those concepts to understand? And once we do that and we have control of the government, now we've taken it away from them and we're not letting them have it back again, ever. So that's the good news, and there's a lot of it here. And, for more information, send me an email, youwinnincourt@gmail.com. I'll be thrilled to fill you in on what I do and how I do it. You're absolutely going to love it. So that's it. Remember to subscribe, tell your friends, get the word out. And remember, we have to stop them from doing this divide and conquer crap they've been doing way too long. And all go in there, Americans, Asians, and Africans, with the same issues, the same status, the same court. And we can take it away from them and get them off our backs. Thank you.